All right, there we go. So to start out, I'm just going to take it out of the bag. This is something you're not always going to be able to take it out standing up, but you kind of get used to it at whatever angle you do have to take it out. I'll hold this up for just a second. And it kind of becomes like taking a snowsuit on and off, really. You get used to it. I'll have you put it back in and out at the end of the lesson, but for now, just to save time. All right, so what we're going to start out with is posture. So you should be at the, yeah, perfect. No, if you could get to the front of the chair as much as you could, and then standing comfortable, feet about a little further than shoulder width apart. And then the cello, usually a good angle is about an arm's length away, like one full arm length. This should be good. Now, here we start to get into the anatomy of it. What keeps it up is this. This is the end pin. Now, this, of course, is going to vary on your height, how much, but a really good way of testing that is to spread out your hand completely, put your thumb on here, and then this should be just a little bit further out. So let's see if this is any good. So keep it about an arm's length away. This should be like right at about chin level almost. Maybe. We'll see. So then drop it back. This should be really into the ground. Yeah, your knees can totally wrap around it. That's one of the comfortable things. And then these, which are the tuning pegs, much like a guitar, right? If you turn them, it's gonna alter the pitches of each of these. On the bottom, this is just like my electric. Actually, these are fine tuners. So once you get the general pitch with these, you can get the exact pitch, like within the microtones. So yeah, this peg right here, the C peg, since it's attached to the C string, should be right behind your left ear when you're holding it. So it should be right up against your body. Your back should be straight up against the chair. That's all good. That's all, and then it should be right behind that ear. You could actually probably use it up a little bit, maybe a little more. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't miss my music days.
I do. All right. So now we'll go into playing position. So your left hand wants to be on the fretboard, and your fingers should be coming over the top. You shouldn't think about like wrapping around the neck.
So I want my fingers to be bent up this way.
Kind of like overarching on the metaphor that we used in class was like mountains. They should be over the top instead of very flat. That's good. That's really good. We aren't going to get into the bow just yet, but we can definitely talk about the strings now. So you have 4 strings. I'm not sure how much you remember from music theory, but they're tuned a fifth apart. The first is a C. The next is a G. The next is a D. And the next is an A. And that A string is a bit bad, but that's all right. So they're tuned a fifth apart.
Okay.
So try and just pluck a couple of them. Put your thumb right against here, and then just get the sound of.
So it's.
Yep. So now we're actually going to take a look at some of the activities in the book that they have you start off. And of course, these books are for much younger kids, so they have you like. I know that you've taken a little bit of music before in high school, but like they'll give you this. And you kind of have to go. We could probably just start on this one. So your D string, you have C. Yep.
C, G, D, A.
Yep. You're already on it. All right. So the D string. Try this one right here. Two's a team. See if you can pizzicato that. Let me check the time. 4 minutes. All right. We're good. Yeah. Perfect. So. Now that you have a sense for the strings, I think posture is good. Oh, this will be good. To check and make sure that your feet are at the right space, you will never ever want them behind the chair. A good test is to just stand up exactly where you are. You should be able to stand up without moving your feet. That's perfect. So very good. Yeah, good.
Make sure you don't move the chair out.
Next, we're gonna take the bow, and of course, I'm not fully explaining the anatomy of everything, like the bridge here and and the F holes, that kind of stuff. But for the sake of a 10-minute lesson, here's the bow. This is what's called the frog. It holds the hairs in place with the tip here. This is all horsehair. This side is just wood. And then you have this peg right here that you turn to tighten it.
Okay.
And
I'm guessing you loosen it to make sure when you put it in the bag.
Yeah, to make sure that nothing's snapping.
So yeah,
nothing's breaking. But you want it tight for when you're playing. So this is just rosin, which gets the tone a little better. You want to try not to touch the hair on it, because the oils of your fingers can actually mess up the hair, and that's why this right here, this end is so nasty, because people are their thumb is up against it. So now we'll talk about bow hold. I'll get into this. If you think about how your hand should be, it should be completely relaxed. So a good way to test that is to just shake out your hand as hard as you can, and then just leave not in my face. And then just leave it completely dangling, and then the bow should fit right in here. And there's going to be a little bit of pressure on your thumb and on your index finger, but nothing should be against this is totally wrong, like this is totally wrong, things behind it. Your hand should be totally relaxed, right in the middle, and you should be able to grab onto it just like that. So see if you can...
It's just like a drumstick.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So between
sort
these
of,
two...
Well, not entirely. The pressure, there's going to be a little bit of pressure, but you shouldn't be pinching. It should be like... just like that. Slightly
massaging.
Yeah. Your hand should always be relaxed. You should never have tension in it. So, yeah, like so. If you're, and I mean, some people hold the bow different ways, but everyone should, like all the fingers should be touching it at least. Maybe roll this back just a little bit and get your fingers so that the bow is across like the second knuckle.
Like those.
Yeah, and as long as if your hand is relaxed right now, if you feel relaxed, if you feel no tension, then you'll be all right. So that's definitely good. Now we're going to try to just get some bowing sounds. So one good thing about starting the cello is to just take your hand right off the fretboard and then attach it to this side. So just grab onto the end, and it can be your little helper hand. So this is to help keep it straight. A lot of people when they're playing, it'll start to move like this, and it'll start to move up, or it'll start to go down, or all these kind of weird angles. This is to keep it straight and even. So now try and apply a decent amount of pressure. You shouldn't be pushing entirely, but enough pressure and speed to create what should we call it? A confident sound. So try it on the C string. Yep, and then just keep going back and forth. Make sure to keep it as straight as you possibly can. Good. Try some of the upper strings. Alright, so next thing, when you're bowing and you're pulling from this arm, this should, your forearm and your wrist should try and stay as much in line as possible. So you're pulling from your elbow so that there's no tension here. There should be like as little tension as possible in that whole thing. So yeah, you can try, shake out your hand. And then just a nice, easy bow hold. You can put your fingers out a little bit more if you want. That might help. And then try and move from the elbow instead of from the wrist. There you go. You see how you're coming up? Yep, exactly. That's what that hand's for. What are we at? We're at 9 minutes. All right, so I'll have you keep. That's definitely good to pull like that. Now the problem that a lot of starting cello players, including myself and a lot of people in the class, have to deal with is the balance between the two, because you'll get your left hand good for like, it's over the top, it's nice, there's no tension in that. If you're moving up and down, it's the same thing. You want to keep this in line. But then your bow will go crazy, and then you'll focus on your bow, and then this hand will start to go flat. So for right now, since we only have 10 minutes, you can try and play some of these again, except this time I want you to try and bow them. Even though it says pizzicato, don't even worry about that, don't pick it. So bring this hand down, use it as the helper.
Okay.
And then see if you can just kind of bow at will, because it's not marked and because I'm just kind of asking you to do this for fun and to get used to the bow. You can bow up or down or whatever way you want, but just make sure to change bows on each of these. So it can be like up, down, up, down, or it can be up, down, up,
Okay.
whatever. Oh, might as well tell you what those are. Down is pulling to your right, and up is going to be to your left. So it's relative to how the bow is moving, which is a down bow. You're pulling it towards the top of the bow. Yep, and then good. All right, so try this one again, except this time try and bow it. You might want to go a little slower just so you can get the feel. Yeah. So make sure to keep it down here. I saw it starting to slide up. And that sound, that scratching sound, means that you're not moving it fast enough. It just means like you can create that sound by just by going really, really slow. So keep the same pressure, move it a little faster. Yeah, good. That's a really good sound. Try it again. Yeah.
Wants to creep up.
Extra strings, that happens a lot, especially when you're just getting used to the bow and how to, because like the angle of it is, you have to get it so perfect that it's just something that you get used to. But yeah, so that will be your 11.5-minute first cello lesson. Nice job.